Hello everyone, it's a nice day. It rained yesterday evening, really bad, heavy storm, and it's nicer now. It was raining earlier, but I thought it's not quite as hot out here. It's real humid, but it's not quite as hot. Thought I'd take a little walk, so let me turn this around. This is going to give a great boost to my garden. Let me tell you, every time it rains, things start growing. You can see eggplants. Here's a big one right there. And these, I mean, they grow. You can tell they grow after you get rain. Look at that big one down there. I give that one to Mom. And my okra is coming up real good. And these cucumber seeds I planted, something eating on some of them. A few of them chewed on them. I don't know if the ants seem to like them. I don't know if they would chew them up like that or not, but once they get a little bit bigger, they'll leave them alone. But yeah, everything's loving this. Green beans. Doing a lot better since I put the pie pans out here. Anyway, this isn't a garden update. I was looking around a little bit. I hadn't even looked at anything hardly this morning or this afternoon. But I thought since it wasn't so hot, I'd take a little walk. Let's see how my wildflowers are doing after the rain. I did a couple shorts on the weather yesterday. Y'all ought to check them out. It was pretty severe for a while. And it beat these down a little bit. But yeah, it did. A little bit of damage to these. There'll be more. They're looking good though. This will make the yard grow a little bit. It didn't grow for a few days because it was so hot and no rain. But this little bit of rain will probably get the grass growing again. Of course, I'd rather it not grow. It's so hard to mow everything. These crows, pretty vocal. It's the advantage of having a long driveway. You got a place to walk. I need to be doing more of this, and maybe my left leg's been bothering me a lot when I mow. Of course, you're walking all over this yard, it's no wonder. I thought maybe if I walk a little bit, it might help it, so it doesn't hurt so bad. My knee, both knees are kind of messed up, my left knee especially. Mainly from sports injuries when I was young. I played a little bit of everything. Volleyball, baseball, softball, football, basketball. Tennis. If I tried to play tennis now, I'd probably end up in the emergency room. Because the Crohn's disease, it affects all your joints. I've got arthritis and osteoporosis, mainly in my hips, my left hip. Everything seems to be bothering me on my left side. It's awful quiet out here. Makes me think there's a hawk around here, because you usually hear birds. It's kind of eerie being so quiet. But it'll get quiet like this when there's hawks around. I don't happen to see them. They blend in pretty well. It's a miracle that tree is still up, because part of the trunk is rotted. When we took them some all those tomatoes up there the other day, and a big chunk of it on the other side is fallen onto the ground. Lord, I was sitting here looking at it with all that wind yesterday, and he had his truck sitting right over there. Man, that thing would crush his truck, and it would hit the house for sure. But you know, they're probably like us. They can't afford to have it cut down because it's so expensive. But what if something happens? You know, I'm sure they have insurance for their house and car. But you know, that thing could really take out their whole front of their house easy. See, we had a tree where this big bush thing is down here. That big old thing, which I need to try to cut back somehow. That used to be a big hickory tree. And this used to be a tree right here. That's why I used to call these stump flowers when I would put them here. There's just a teeny bit of the stump left right down there's a piece, and it's about to come off. Anyway, there was a tree right there, and the guy that was living here, I guess the first one maybe, that lived in this house, he built like a moat around that thing. I mean, he took cinder blocks, and they're still there underneath that bush. He made a big thing, a big circle around the tree, and it went down about 4 foot, 3 or 4 foot. Well, what happened over the years is, when we would have a lot of rain, water would build up inside of that like a darn pool or something. You know, it would just soak it, and it couldn't get dispersed as good because it had that darn cinder block circle thing around it. So the base of the trunk started to rot, and we didn't know it was really rotted. We had a big storm come up, had 80 to 90 mile an hour straight winds, hit that tree. It was so big, y'all. The end of it was right out here, almost to the road. It fell this way, and we had just had this roof put on. They were still working on it. They were still finishing up the roof. So it's a miracle it didn't go that way. But it came this way, and it was so big, it came to the road here. And you talk about a mess. This tree was still standing over here. It was another hickory. And you know, a lot of people around here, you know, notice a lot of trees. A lot of people had damage that day. And the local news even came over here. Joy and I were out here trying to clean up some of the sticks, it was a mess. Looked like it had exploded or something. And we were actually on the news. They took about, I don't know, 30 minutes of footage, and I think about 10 seconds, or maybe 15 or 20 seconds or something like that was on the actual news. So anyway, the city came over here. This tree was just as big as that one, and it was so big, if it fell this way, it would take these out, which would take most of the city power out. So they came over here and they said, we'd like to cut that tree down because it's not going to have any protection from the wind from that area. It will over here from the house, but they meant further up, you know, and they wanted to cut it down. I said, I'll do it on one condition. I said, if you want to cut down that tree, I said, you're going to have to take all this and clean all this up where this other tree fell. And they said okay. And they did what they said, you know. And that happened quite a lot of years ago. And they brought the dump trucks, like whatever they were hauling it off in, and they had them on our driveway, and it ruined our driveway. And I said, listen, you can't come in here and just tear our driveway all to pieces just because you're doing that. They had to pave, they had to have this pay to have our, I said, you know, I'll need a new driveway. So I got them. I got it all cleaned up, got that one taken out, and a new driveway, and it didn't cost anything. You wouldn't believe how many people came by here wanting to cut that thing up and haul it off, and how much they would charge me. I kept all the cards. I got them somewhere. I bet I got 20 of them. All kinds of crazy prices. I was like, nope. And then luckily the city came over here and I talked to them. Got that worked out. I trimmed this the other night. I trimmed it at night, not when it was just about to turn dark, and it was a lot cooler out here. But I just thought I'd tell you that little story. And then this thing's grown in there now. That's where that groundhog lives. The one that's been causing problems up here. I'll tell you what, I haven't caught it one time, and I haven't seen any damage since I have the pie pans up. I got 1, 2, 3 there, one there's 4, and one over here is 5. So, still a few little cloudy, darker clouds. I don't think it's gonna rain anymore. Oh, my garden got such good rain though. It was great. Of course, some of the potted plants didn't get any of it, but I'm not going to set them out there during a storm just to get some rain. Yeah, I can feel it in my leg. After I've been mowing, when I start mowing after about 20-25 minutes, man, my left leg from the knee down, it's in quite a bit of pain sometimes. I've been using Blue Emu. It helps some. Only thing about it is having that stuff on you while you're mowing, you get all kinds of grass and stuff stick to your leg. It doesn't soak all the way in or whatever. Of course, I take a shower right after I'm done anyway. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for this Let's Take a Walk. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's see. If you did, I hope you'll press that like button. Also subscribe if you haven't already, and share this out, and hit that notification bell so that you get all my videos as soon as they come out. Everybody, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you later on. God bless.